Crystal Palace, Manchester United at 5:30, and after 6:06 with Chris and Robbie, we will have live boxing from Wembley Stadium. Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois, 5 Live, 8:30, but the undercard will be on Sports Extra from around 7. As the sun is out and Diaz has already been felled. He's taken a high boot right in the stomach from Christie and the Colombian, and in fact a yellow card has been shown already. So last week in that game against Chelsea there was a record 14 yellow cards shown without any hesitation. Here our referee, who is Tony Harrington, has just produced a yellow.
Yeah, I think yellow is about right. Ryan Christie, his eyes are on the ball as Diaz goes in to control the ball with his chest, and he's trying to bring the ball down, Ryan Christie, but he catches Diaz in the midriff, and the referee, I think, has no choice.
Liverpool play the ball out towards that far side, the right. There's been an early goal in the Premier League. It's at Tottenham, Masfarouki.
And it's come for Brentford. Brian Mbeumo has fired in. It dipped in under the crossbar. Half volley, a great cross on the left from Keane Lewis-Potter, who wasn't closed down by Pedro Porro. I make it 20 seconds before Tottenham conceded. Spurs 0, Brentford 1.
If it's 20 seconds, that'll be the quickest goal of the Premier League this season, as Liverpool have to try and deal with a Bournemouth counter-attack over on that far side, the right. And good progress has been made by Tavernier and Bournemouth, who are on the front foot, get themselves a corner. They're playing from left to right as we look. They're attacking the Kop end, corner far side the left.
Yeah, it's actually really good hold-up play from Ivan Nielsen, the Bournemouth centre-forward, to release Marcus Tavernier on that left-hand side, and it looked like it got away from Trent Alexander-Arnold, but Alexander-Arnold got back to pop the ball behind.
They scored early last season. Semenyo after 3 minutes. 2 minutes has just ticked by. Corner kick far side the left. It's an in-swinger headed out by Luis Diaz. Kirkes will try and retrieve it. Araujo will go all the way back, the right back to Kepa. And Kepa's ball gives it straight to Gravenberch. Gravenberch in field. Housen, he didn't control that, and in the end it required left-back Kirkes to tidy up back towards Kepa. Couple of mistakes there from Bournemouth.
Yeah, scruffy play all round.
Another mistake here, this time by Konate. Scuffed it to Kelleher in goal, and Kelleher gets it out towards Robertson, who comes under pressure from Semenyo on this near side. Headed back by Ivan Nielsen, and coming back from an offside position, that will be a free kick to Liverpool.
I think both teams have started fairly sloppily. Liverpool careless there. I think Bournemouth have made their intentions clear, the way they're going to approach this game, really getting after Liverpool, pressing high up.
Kirkes, little touch for Tavernier. Konate slides into the challenge. Araujo is tucked in and gets it away with a header from right back. Comes to Gravenberch. He was outstanding in San Siro on Tuesday night, the Dutchman. Just combines there with Szoboszlai, interchanging, passing the ball between each other. Araujo with the interception, the layoff by Ivan Nielsen. Kluivert running forward. Semenyo goes into a central area. Kluivert will find Semenyo, and he slides in, and he's at it again. He scored early last season, and in the 4th minute this time, he's converted that low cross, finds the bottom left-hand corner, and Bournemouth take the lead 1-0.
Well, it's a brilliantly worked goal, it is. Ivan Nielsen pops the ball off to Kluivert, who just drives with the ball past the Liverpool defence, right-hand side of the box, whips across in, and Semenyo sliding in at the far post. Just knocks the ball into the back of an empty net. It's brilliant.
Shade
From Kluivert. I think this may be offside, though, at the point when Kluivert crosses the ball. They're checking. It's a very close one.
To the natural eye, and I've only seen it once on the screen, I haven't seen a freeze frame, he did look a fraction offside. VAR having a look at it.
Yeah, where I'm looking along the line, I think this will be ruled offside, but
we wait for the lines. Graham Scott is at Stockley Park. Tony Harrington waits for the instruction. It doesn't stand. Back at 0-0. Goal ruled out. What about at Craven Cottage? Developments, Lee Blakeman.
Fulham are ahead, seconds after Newcastle had one ruled out for offside. Fulham have gone straight down the other end. Ball into Jimenez. Great low finish. Fulham 1, Newcastle 0.
You can hear the crowd reaction here at Anfield. That's a wake-up call for Liverpool. So 0-0 here. That Semenyo goal has been disallowed. Fulham, they're ahead then against Newcastle United. Incidentally, that goal by Mbeumo officially timed at 22 seconds, as there has been another goal in the top flight. It's at St Mary's, Henry Moran.
And for the first time this season, Southampton have the lead. Lovely pass from Adam Lallana, releasing 18-year-old Tyler Dibbling to slot home. Early on, Southampton 1, Ipswich 0.
We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service wherever you are in the world. It's a pleasure to have your company as always. Here we are at Anfield once again. There's Salah, wriggles away on that far side, the right, sends over across towards the far post. Robertson arriving, and on the stretch, inside left channel, the penalty area, 8 yards out from goal, left-footed, hits the side netting. Liverpool 0, Bournemouth 0. Chris Sutton.
Salah did really well on the right-hand side. It's lazy defending from Marcus Tavernier. Salah hits the byline, stands the ball up to the far post, and Robertson on the slide, on the half volley. He's not far away. It's the side netting, but that's better from Liverpool.
Already it's got the feel of one of those days where it's going to be quite busy. Fulham leading, Southampton are ahead, Brentford with an early goal at Tottenham, Leicester Everton 0-0, Aston Villa Wolves 0-0, and we will be crossing in a few moments' time with Pat Murphy to take in that moment when Gary Shaw will be remembered by Villa Park here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And just after 3:30 we're going racing at air for the Gold Cup as well, with Darren Owen at around 25-4 if they're running at time in the west of Scotland.
That was nervy, Ian, from the young Bournemouth centre-half, Dean Howson, giving the ball away carelessly, popping it out for a Liverpool throw-in deep within his own half. Not under really great pressure, just a lack of composure there.
Liverpool play out from the back. Ball nudged inside by Alexander-Arnold. Konate will pass the ball to Robertson. Arahu caught in two minds. Luis Diaz now has to run forward, and Arahu comes back. Diaz shoots! Just over the top. Keeper got a touch. Kepa with a save. Right-footed rising effort. Kepa equal to it. Corner kick Liverpool.
Yeah, we talked about would Bournemouth be brave and press Liverpool, and they did do. And Liverpool, their build-up play was superb out from the back. And eventually the ball gets to Diaz, who drives on that inside. Ferocious right-foot effort. I tell you, the save was excellent from Kepa.
Been tipped over. And Liverpool then have a corner kick. Alexander-Arnold is going to take it. He waits, the referee. Bournemouth have got every white shirt back. Bright sunshine now here at Anfield. Liverpool are attacking the Anfield Road end. It's going to be an in-swinging corner, this, from Alexander-Arnold. A lot of jostling going on at the far post. Alexander-Arnold with the delivery now, in towards the near post, headed out the near post. Goal again at Tottenham, that's Faruqi.
And Dominic Solanke has his first goal for Spurs, 1-1. The shot was blocked by Flecken. Solanke quickest to the rebound. Spurs 1, Brentford 1.
Crew 1, Harrogate Town 0 is a latest score in League 2. 3 straight wins. Crew, they're going in a bit of good form at the moment. And no other goals elsewhere around the country to tell you about. Here is Nunez, Van Dijk rather, pulls it back, trying to turn. Surprised me there. I just saw the bulky figure with the ponytail, automatically assumed it was Nunez, and Van Dijk had actually stayed forward, but now he's got to get back as the ball is slid in on that far side to left. I've got to say, what an open and attacking game this is.
Yep, and that's because of Bournemouth's approach. There's a good run from midfield actually, and Kelleher had to anticipate that in the Liverpool goal. He gets his start this afternoon, but Bournemouth have made their intentions pretty clear, but I think a game like this suits Liverpool.
Cambridge United just a 1 point, still looking for a first win in League One, have fallen behind. Wickham 1, Cambridge United 0. Coventry City 0, Swansea City 1 is the latest score in the Championship, and Colchester United are leading Tranmere Rovers by 1-0 in League 2. Still 0-0 here at Anfield between Liverpool and Bournemouth, as Gravenberch plays the ball forward to Salah, but Kirk has just stepped out of defence, the left back for Bournemouth. Really good tempo about the game, as this is Christie in the midfield. Back to Zabani, Ukrainian international. turns away from both Diaz and Nunez and played it away. We haven't missed that tribute, by the way, to Gary Shaw. There's been a delayed kick-off at Villa Park, so whilst we're here at 10 minutes in, there's just been a slight delay to proceedings at Villa Park, but still goalless on BBC Radio 5 Live, as Bournemouth had that goal disallowed. And as talked about, we're going to now cross to Villa Park. Pat Murphy, as a Villa legend, is remembered.
Ian, 40,000 people at Aston Villa on match day is always a special sight, but this one in particular, as the crowd pay homage to one of their favourite players, and it really is an impressive sight, and commendably the Wolves fans have joined in the applause because they recognise a genuine article when they see it and read all about it. Now, the significance of 8 minutes is that Gary always wore the number 8 shirt, and Brian Little, sitting just a few yards to my right, he handed over that shirt when he retired prematurely to the 18-year-old Brummie, and Gary Shaw never forgot that gesture because he idolised Brian Little. So that's a great moment. They say never meet your heroes. Thousands and thousands of Villa fans will disagree with that.
Thank you, Pat. Gary Shaw remembered at Villa Park, and as Pat says, lovely that Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters were joining in too. Here is Diaz meanwhile for Liverpool, finds Salah in the area, right hand side, Salah pulls it back, Szoboszlai with a shot, right footed, off target, goal kick. Peterborough United 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, the layout from Salah, just not enough pace on the ball after good play from Diaz, once again finding Salah on the right hand side of the box. He popped it back, but Christie just did enough to put off the shot from Szoboszlai.
Doncaster Rovers, incidentally, are down to 10 men because Harry Clifton has been sent off. So Doncaster are away to MK Dons, but they're down to 10 men. So that's a latest in League 2. St Mirren lead Hearts by 1-0. Ball played through. This is Salah in the penalty area. Kepa with a save. Kepa just moved away to his left, turned it behind for a corner kick. Goal at Leicester now. Chris Coles.
It's gone to Everton. Leicester 0, Everton 1. Iliman and Jai with it, well found just inside the penalty area. Right foot shot in off the post. Leicester 0, Everton 1.
And we'll get news of a wicket at the cricket. Eleanor Oldroyd.
26-1 England, chasing a relatively modest 271 to win. Phil Salt nicking through to Alex Carey off the bowling of Josh Hazlewood. He's out for 12. England 26 for 1 after 4.
Commentary of that continues on Sports Extra. Bolton Wanderers 1, Reading 0 is the latest score in League 1. Liverpool have a corner. It's goalless at Anfield. It's been a busy start to BBC Radio 5 Live with our live coverage this afternoon. It's an in-swinger from that far side. The goalkeeper there was crowded. A lot of traffic to get through. To sure they got the faintest of touches, but it's going to be brought away on this near side, and Tavernier has overrun it, and Liverpool will take the throw quickly in front of the main stand as Andoni Iraola is barking out the orders, dressed very casually, the Spaniard. His 50th game in charge of Bournemouth since he arrived, and he's since extended a new deal, of course, early this year to 2026. Took them to 12th last season. Here is Robertson, although their record against the top 6 last year wasn't very favourable. They failed to win any of their 12 Premier League meetings against any of the sides that finish in the top 6, just taking 2 points out of a possible 36. Stockport County, who are unbeaten in League 1, have fallen behind at Edgeley Park. Stockport County 0, Leyton Orient 1 is a latest scoreline. And Bolton leading Reading by 1-0. You're up to date with the goals as they go in here. 14 minutes played. This is Robertson down the left-hand side. Szoboszlai, they interchange. Sliding across was Araujo. And out of play it goes for a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, just making passes in the middle of the park. Liverpool, a bit more patience to their play at this moment in time. Got to say, earlier, the pass from Alexis McAllister to Mo Salah, that'll be pass of the day. That wonderful, the weight of the pass and how accurate he was. And Mo Salah, good shot saved by Kepa.
Ball into Nunez. Nunez side onto goal, looking to turn, left-footed, shoots straight at Kepa. Comfortable save.
He does all the hard work, doesn't he? Nunez makes a run in behind the Bournemouth centre-halves, 12 yards out, turns quickly, but then his shot, left-footed, is really weak. Wonderful turn to create a bit of space, and then Kepa gets down easily to his right-hand side.
It was his 100th appearance for Liverpool against Milan in midweek. He's gone 14 games without a goal. No real problems there for Kepa. Kluivert is adjudged to have fouled Gravenberch. That'll be a free kick for Liverpool. The top of League One in the early stages has three sides level with 13 points. Wrexham at the top, third place Charlton, in between a Birmingham City, who are leading at Rotherham United. Rotherham 0, Birmingham City 1. They beat Wrexham to end Phil Parkinson's side's unbeaten start to the season on Monday night. Here, Liverpool all in red, midway through the Bournemouth half. Alexander-Arnold to take it, and Bournemouth, with the exception of Kluivert, have got everybody back inside their own penalty area in front of that two-tiered Anfield Road end. Alexander-Arnold, right-footed, in it goes. Van Dijk up from the back. Christie, his touch gives it straight back to Szoboszlai. Prods it back, left side of the centre circle. Robertson, back towards Szoboszlai once again. Thought about going right, plays it back to his left for Robertson. Konate now has run back. Jogging after him is Kluivert, and now with Kelleher. The atmosphere is better today, isn't it?
No, it is. It's livelier than it was last week. I think a lot of it is down to, well, the start of the game, where Bournemouth have been braver and Liverpool have looked more creative, playing quicker and slicker, but Bournemouth are having a go.
Of course, at times last week it was very subdued, very flat for long periods in that game against Nottingham Forest for that famous victory, their first win since 1969. Bournemouth's record is wretched here at Anfield. They've never won in any of their games in any competition, as Robertson makes a darting run, not spotted by Szoboszlai, passes the ball forward on the right for Alexander-Arnold. Patient play, keeping the ball, the home team. Likes to have that control, likes to see his side have the possession. Didn't necessarily work out for the 69% that they had last week against Forest, whose game plan worked to a T, as the ball chipped forward now by Alexander-Arnold and headed away by Zabani. Picked back up by Gravenberch and then eventually headed back by Howson to his goalkeeper Kepa. Another wicket at the cricket, Eleanor Oldroyd.
England 28 for 2. Will Jacks has a first ball duck, caught at second slip by short off the bowling of Mitchell Stark. Stark and Hazelwood have one each. 28 for 2 England in the fifth over.
Lando Norris is on pole for the Singapore Grand Prix. Coverage of that is tomorrow on Sports Extra and BBC Sounds from 12:45. This is BBC Radio 5 Live, 0-0. Gravenberch, Nunez with the layoff. Araujo tidies it back up to his goalkeeper Kepa. All in blue, clears, flicked on by Semenyo. Even Nielsen was making the run out to this near side. Robertson keeps the ball in play, finds Szoboszlai central area. Gravenberch shows good strength. Foul by Kluivert. It's going to be another yellow card.
Yep. What a wonderful pass on the halfway line, on the touchline from Robertson, reversed at pace into Gravenberch, who then accelerates away from Kluivert. Clips his heels, brings him down. Easy decision for the referee to make. Another yellow card, but Liverpool looking sharper this week than last week, moving the ball with more purpose, and Bournemouth hanging on in there at this stage.
I don't know why Andoni Iraola is chuntering into the ear of the fourth official, Bobby Madley, because that was a yellow card all day long. If he's not careful, he'll pick up a yellow. He's actually only a yellow card away from a one-match ban, is the Bournemouth coach. Huddersfield Town 0, Northampton Town 1 is a latest scoreline. Huddersfield have had a good start to the season, but have fallen behind there to Northampton, who've gone 3 games without a win. This is 5 Live on BBC Sounds and the World Service. We've been playing for nearly 20 minutes. It is 0-0. It's been a good watch, would you agree?
Yeah, it has been. I think the game now, 20 minutes, settling down a little bit. More of a pattern to it, where Bournemouth still being aggressive, Liverpool being patient with their approach, but Kelleher really dallied on that ball.
Ivan Nielsen was the one who closed him down. Here is Ivan Nielsen in the penalty area, and he picks out Semenyo, who again, excellent movement, making a diagonal run from the right-hand side. Ball just slipped into his path, 6 yards out, gets the shot away early, and it's turned behind for a corner kick.
Well, Kelleher made amends from his early mistake, taking too long to pop the ball out, and Ivan Nielsen may have been ruled out for offside anyway. Initially, Ivan Nielsen looks offside, but clever little deft pass into Semenyo, who made that diagonal run, and Kelleher makes a big save with his right knee or right hand.
Cambridge United have equalised at Wycombe, 1-1 in League One. Stockport 0, Leyton Orient 2 is the latest score also in League One. Corner kick for Bournemouth, it's an in-swing, a far side, headed out by Nunez inside the 6-yard box. Araujo in the centre circle for Bournemouth, all in white. Controls it, lifts it forward, looking for the run of Tavernier on this near side, the right, attacking the Kop end. Following him is Gravenberch. Tavernier plays it back. Araujo waits. Tavernier has Semenyo in field. He also has Christie, the Scottish international, on a slot. Comes out, makes some verbal instructions known to his players as Christie now comes forward. Still going Christie. Inside has the run of Tavernier. Took a deflection and took it behind him. Gravenberch then will take over for Liverpool. Robertson deep inside his own half, up towards Nunez. Has Zabani tight behind him, but rolls the Ukrainian and now runs forward. Zabani gets back at him, gets a foot into the challenge. Both managers applauding that bit of play from their respective sides. It goes out for a throw as Ross County leads St Johnstone by a 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah, good little battle that, wasn't it? Nunez initially getting the better of Zabani, but Zabani powering back to make the challenge. It's one to watch, that battle.
Zabani, who really has matured, even though he's 22 years of age, but he's got a lot more strength now. This is somebody who featured at a tender age for Dynamo Kiev and Ukrainian international. A lot of experience as Luis Diaz gets away from a couple of players and then from Zabani, and Luis Diaz tries to go for the near post. Kepa though closed down the option. He hit the post from a similar position last week against Forest, but Kepa had his angle spot on.
It's delightful initially from Diaz. On the half turn, goes past 3 Bournemouth defenders. I think he's greedy there though. The angle against him, an acute angle. Tries to beat Kepa at his near post. Nunez in the 6-yard line, I think. It's in the 6-yard box. So was Salah. He's got to pull that back. Mo Salah on his own, 6 yards out, ignored. Wasteful from Liverpool. Wasteful from Diaz.
Bolton Wanderers 2, Reading 0, St Mirren 1, Hearts 1 are 2 latest scores. It was Fulham 1, Newcastle 0, but there's been another goal at Craven Cottage. Lee Blakeman.
It's now 2-0. Emil Smith-Rowe's got it. Nice 1-2 on the edge of the area with Iwobi, and Smith-Rowe poked it past Pope, who should have done much better with it. Fulham 2, Newcastle 0.
So Fulham now with a 2-goal cushion. There was a chance for Newcastle United to go top. Unbeaten, of course, Eddie Howe's side ahead of that top of the table clash tomorrow. Manchester City, Arsenal. We will have live commentary from 4:30. Birmingham City have got a second goal in League One at Rotherham United. They're unbeaten under Chris Davis so far. Rotherham United 0, Birmingham City 2, as Kelleher has not kept that ball in play.
That wasn't down to Kelleher. It was dreadful from Konate. Tried to keep the ball in on the far touchline. Took a terrible touch and then panicked, saw Kelleher out the corner of his eye and hammered a right foot ball into Kelleher, who tried to keep it in, but gives Bournemouth the opportunity from a corner.
Well, Lewis Cook has walked over in between the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand and the Kop over on that far side, playing from left to right. This should be another in-swinger from Lewis Cook for Bournemouth, all in white, and indeed it is, and it's headed out by Van Dijk, and then Kerkez on the half volley slashes at that left-footed, and it goes behind for a goal kick. We'll go to Southampton. Henry Moran.
Still Southampton 1, Ipswich 0. Tyler Dibling's first senior goal, the difference. Since then though, Ipswich well on top, several good opportunities. The game almost exclusively played in Southampton's half, but they lead by 1-0.
Aston Villa Wolves, Pat Murphy.
0-0, both sides feeling each other out from a Wolves corner. Lamine, the strong header gathered calmly by keeper Martinez. Wolves have picked up 2 bookings already. Villa 0, Wolves 0.
What about Leicester Everton, Chris Coles?
Still leading Leicester by 1-0, and they're good value for that lead as well. They've had a good chance for 2-0, which is perhaps somewhere they don't want to be given recent events. Lindstrom forcing a good save from Hermansen. Leicester 0, Everton 1.
Alexander-Arnold barged off the ball. Bournemouth unable though to hang on to it. McAllister quickly recovered it for Liverpool. McAllister's forward ball on this occasion. Lewis Cook steps forward in front of Szoboszlai, and Tony Harrington, the referee, says there was a foul. Stoppage in play. We can nip to Tottenham. Maz Faruqi.
Well, Spurs have found their groove a bit more now. A lovely team move forward. Maddison to Kulusevski, and then Johnson. His shot just wide of the left post from the right. Still Spurs 1, Brentford 1.
5:30, we've got commentary of Crystal Palace against Manchester United with Alistair Bruce Ball and Mark Warburton. That follows Sports Report with Mark Chapman. I said that Andoni Iraola had to be careful. His chuntering was going to get him into trouble. And then is it Iraola or is it one of his coaches who's also come forward? I've got a feeling it's Iraola.
And he's still going, isn't he? He's still having words with the fourth official.
Iraola, that's going to be a one-game ban then for the Bournemouth coach. He'll miss the Southampton home game against Bournemouth. We'll just get confirmation of that.
He's still going.
He's still going.
Blimey. Sometimes it's better, Ian, just to keep your mouth shut, isn't it?
It is. I know that many a time through working with you. Wrexham are leading Crawley Town by 1-0. That's in League One. We'll bring you news of that goal when we can. This is Robertson back with Szoboszlai. Robertson to Van Dijk. I mean, if we could see it from here, he just had to rein it in a little bit, didn't he, Iraola?
Well, I mean.
Here is Luis Diaz. What was Kepa doing there? Kepa out of his penalty area and punished by Luis Diaz. What was Kepa thinking? He came a long way, didn't get there. Luis Diaz controlled it, took it away, inside right channel the penalty area, and Luis Diaz fires home, and Liverpool lead by 1-0.
Well, Luis Diaz does Kepa a kipper, doesn't he? It's awful from Kepa. It's a long diagonal ball. Kepa comes outside of his box thinking he's going to head it or intercept, and Diaz nips in front of him off the left-hand side, controls the ball with his chest, but he still has great composure. He's onside, a yard onside. It's Konate with the long ball. And Kepa, terrible misjudgment. But Diaz still has work to do when he takes it round. Kepa composes himself one touch and then strokes it in to the back of the net, and Liverpool have deserved it.
And Kepa knew straight away the way that he slammed his hand in annoyance at the side of his left thigh. He was caught in no man's land, and Luis Diaz took full advantage. There's been a goal elsewhere in the Premier League. It's at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Wolves, a thoroughly avoidable goal, but expertly finished by Matheus Cunha, right-footed rather. Villa faffing around at the edge of the penalty area, gave it away. Cunha said thanks very much. Villa 0, Wolves 1.
Huddersfield Town 0, Northampton 2 is the latest score in League One. News of that Wrexham goal from Nick Hatton.
Yeah, it's Elliot Lee that has it. It was a corner from Tom O'Connor right on top of the goalkeeper. He got a fist on it, ball back in, and there was Elliot Lee to fire home from 6 yards out. Wrexham 1, Crawley 0.
Cardiff City are down to 10 men. Joel Bagan has been sent off as they take on Leeds United at home. Liverpool are on the attack once more. This is Alexander-Arnold. He finds Diaz, and Luis Diaz slots it in. Left-footed. Liverpool with 2 quick goals take a stranglehold on this game, and Bournemouth couldn't deal with Liverpool. Diaz had a double.
Yeah, and one end to the other. Driving run from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He has the freedom to drive all the way to the edge of the box, gets his head up, and it was about picking the right pass, and he did popped it out to Diaz, left-hand side of the box, who took a touch and slid the ball under Kepa. Great couple of minutes for Liverpool.
Another goal at Tottenham, Masfarouki.
They've come from behind to lead Spurs. Brennan Johnson, a shot from the right, beating Flecken into the bottom left-hand corner. Great work from Son in the build-up. Good counter-attacking move, and there's a big smile on the face of Ange Postecoglou. Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
Barrow 1, Newport County 0, a latest score in League 2. And Charlton 0, Blackpool 1 is the latest in League 1. But here, Liverpool supporters loving the fact that Luis Diaz with 2 goals, his first after 26 minutes, his second following on 28 minutes. As Christie running forward, wriggles clear into the penalty area and then unable to get the ball back to either Tavernier, Semenyo or even Nielsen. Cleared out of play for a throw, but a long way back now for Bournemouth.
Yeah, but just for a second, looked like Christie has got on the other side of McAllister, inside the Liverpool box. McAllister, to his credit, got back and made the challenge. Yeah, Bournemouth have got the work cut out now.
Semenyo Semenyo's done well to the edge of the area. Infield to Christie with the turn. Man over is Kluivert. One-handed save by Kelleher. Strong right hand too to turn the ball away. Picked back up by Bournemouth. Christie, Araujo, wins it back. Christie then takes it away from him. Comes out towards Tavernier. Right-hand side level of the area. Still a very attractive game to watch.
It is. You know what? I think Kluivert should do better. He allows Kelleher to make the save. Christie did well. Good awareness on the edge of the box, popping the ball out left, but Kluivert with his right foot, I think he should hit the corner there. Hits it high, straight at Kelleher. Good strong hand.
It's only the third time that Luis Diaz has scored a brace of goals for Liverpool. The second occasion only happened recently against Manchester United, as Luis Diaz takes his tally to 29 goals, and in the Premier League 16 of the 21 have come here at Anfield. 5 goals, 1 assist for Diaz in these 5 Premier League games so far. For Slot, there's a cross from Ivan Nielsen, who had a very prolific time with Luis Diaz, former teammates at Porto when they won the title 2 or 3 years ago. The 21-22 campaign, they scored 16 goals apiece, did Ivan Nielsen and Luis Diaz, so he will know all about the qualities of Luis Diaz. As Bristol City 0, Oxford United 1 is a latest score in the Championship. Top of the table clash at League 2, Nikesh Rugani.
Yeah, it's still Notts County 0, Gillingham 0. Notts County with several good chances through Nick Cerula, who will be shocked at how he hasn't scored today so far. So many chances from close range. Gillingham having to defend well. It's Notts County 0, Gillingham 0.
Semenya with a shot right-footed, and that was off target. Crewe 2, Harrogate 0. And I think we're up to date. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, I tell you what, Bournemouth really giving it a go. They haven't retreated after Liverpool have got their couple of goals, being really brave in the way that they play. But of course, you know, they're going to run the risk, and Salah pulled up for a foul there on Kirkhouse. Didn't see that one, just used his strength.
Liverpool have won 9 of their last 10 meetings in the Premier League against Bournemouth, and the aggregate score before today was 35 goals for Liverpool and only 3 against. Well, they're in a very good position, Liverpool, as they are leading by 2 goals to 0. But Bournemouth forward, Tavernier, Semenyo on this near side, the right, tries to pick out Araujo, who continued his run in that right hand side. It was blocked. Semenyo getting surrounded by the red shirts. Bournemouth though keep the ball. He was clipped. The referee's going to give a free kick. Free kick to Bournemouth, right hand side of the penalty area. Wicket at the cricket, Eleanor Oldroyd.
England's 50 is up, but they've lost their captain Harry Brook. Classic Mitchell Stark Yorker hitting the back pad, out for LBW. England reviewed but unsuccessfully. Brook out for 4. England 50 for 3 in the 8th over, but Ben Duckett is still there, probably their best hope at the moment. He's on 30.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. So Bournemouth 2-0 down, attacking the Cop End here at Anfield on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. Have a free kick which Cook and Tavernier are in discussion over. Level the penalty area, Liverpool have everybody back.
Suits a left-footer, doesn't it, this one? Always think you're better off with an in-swinging ball, get across the goalkeeper's eye line.
Nobody on the near post if Tavernier wants to go for it, but it will be a right-footer. Little flick on, hasn't been dealt with yet, and eventually volleyed clear by Alexander Arnold next to the far post over on that far side, but the referee Tony Harrington has spotted an infringement, and it'll be a free kick to Liverpool at 2-0. They lead, as Blackpool now lead Charlton by 2 goals to 0, and Swansea City are 2-0 up at Coventry City. And also in the Championship, Cardiff down to 10 men, remember. Leeds United have taken the lead. Cardiff City 0, Leeds United 1, and Peterborough have now got a second goal at home to Bristol Rovers at London Road in League 1. Peterborough 2, Bristol Rovers 0. Just over 10 minutes to go to the break. A smiling Chris Sutton.
Well, I'm always smiling. I'm enjoying the game. Interesting Bournemouth's press, and Liverpool playing through it comfortably once again.
Have they been too much on the front foot, Bournemouth? Have they let themselves exposed?
It's the way they play, isn't it? Nottingham Forest did it a different way last week, frustrated, and ended up winning the game.
Liverpool attacking. with Salah far side the right. Cook tries to fill in at left back to hold him up, but Salah's away from him, cutting in field to the edge of the area. Cook actually though recovers some ground. Good sliding challenge. Semenyo now could break. Tavernier is away. If Semenyo can get the ball to him, and he couldn't because of the tenacity of Andrew Robertson.
And shoulder to shoulder there, looked like Semenyo was away from Robertson, but Robertson determined, gets back and makes the challenge.
MK Dons have Dean Lewington as their caretaker manager after Mike Williamson left MK Dons on Thursday to take charge of Carlisle. And MK Dons, after a poor start to the season, are leading the 10 men of Doncaster Rovers by a 1-0. Coventry City have got a goal back. Coventry 1, Swansea City 2. Bolton lead Reading by 3-0. News of that Leeds United goal from Niall McCorn.
Well, Cardiff City are down to 10. Joel Bagan saw red for taking out Wilfried Gnonto, and it didn't take long after that for Cardiff to crack the Welsh side undone as Ramazani ran through for Leeds and buried it. Cardiff 0, Leeds United 1.
You've got under 10 minutes to go to the break here at Anfield. Liverpool leading by 2-0. Luis Diaz with both the goals. What's the latest at Villa Park? Pat Murphy.
Still 1-0 to Wolves, but it should be 2-0. Aït-Nouri, 6 yards out. Didn't time his shot, deflected just past the left post for a corner. A belligerent Wolves are hustling Villa out of their composed style. Villa 0, Wolves 1.
Eva Nielsen, the Brazilian forward, curls the ball out to Kirkes, who joins the attack now with Kluivert. Kluivert actually goes for an audacious chip rather than a cross for Eva Nielsen, and it sailed over the goal and out for a goal kick.
He might tell you he went for a chip and tried to score. I think he was trying to cross the ball with the outside of his right foot, wasn't he? But was wayward with the cross. I've got to say, they have looked a threat, Bournemouth. But I mean, the way they're playing, I think, has played into Liverpool's hands. You know, once Liverpool, they're happy to play out from the back. Once they bypass the Bournemouth midfield, they look a handful.
Salah and Nunez combine on the right-hand side. Nunez with a marauding run, level with the penalty area now. Into the box he goes. Nunez with a shot, and what a super goal! Nunez on his first start of the season with his first goal, and he ends a barren run. 14 games without a goal before today. That was a fine finish, and Liverpool increased their lead, 3-0.
Talked about once they bypassed the Bournemouth midfield, Liverpool, they look dangerous. Bournemouth high press, the ball clipped forward. Nunez and Salah combine really well. And then he chops back in, right-hand side of the box. I think Mo Salah's thinking, you've got to try and cross that ball in for me. He doesn't, elects to shoot left-footed. And it's a stunning finish, in off the far post, a curler from Nunez with his weaker foot. And Liverpool cruising now, 3 up. And you wonder, this could be a cricket score, the way this game is going. But Bournemouth have been brave with their approach. Maybe too brave. And Liverpool have exposed them ruthlessly. What a wonderful finish it is from Nunez, though.
He's getting a wonderful ovation inside Anfield as well. He's such a popular player. Works so hard for the team. His last goal was back in April against Sheffield United. And his every appearance up until today has been off the bench, but making his presence felt, and that was a beauty. And Liverpool lead by 3-0. Notts County 0, Gillingham 1 is the latest score in that top of the table clash at Meadow Lane. So Gillingham looking to try and end Notts County's unbeaten start to the season. News of it from Nikesh Ragani.
Yeah, Notts County 0, Gillingham 1. An Elliot Nevitt goal against the run of play, latched onto a brilliant through ball which sliced open the Notts County defence, went round the keeper, slotted home with his right foot. It's Notts County 0, Gillingham 1.
Here is Kluivert, just loading the stalls in the Air Gold Cup. Kluivert trying to win the ball back on the edge of the area. We'll be going racing very, very soon with Darren Owen here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Burton Albion 0, Barnsley 1 is a latest score elsewhere in League One. Liverpool, though, here are running amok. This is Gravenberch to Salah on the outside. It was a weak effort, and it was a comfortable save for Kepa. Bournemouth a couple of years ago were beaten here 9-0. They all know about a rampant Liverpool, but they're cutting them open at will.
Yeah, well, as I said, they're too brave. Bournemouth throwing bodies forward, but I've got to say, lovely little flick in the middle of the park from Szoboszlai to release Gravenberch, who drives, pops the ball out to Mo Salah, who hasn't quite got his shooting boots on yet, Ian.
Well, that was the biggest surprise when they won 9-0 in August 22. Salah actually wasn't on the score sheet, would you believe, as it's his name that is being sung by the crowd here inside Anfield, with Liverpool creating chances at will. Mightily impressive against Milan when they came from behind. 4 changes made from that game in the Champions League. It's a real hectic period for them. From the start of last weekend, it was 7 games in a 3-week period, so Arne Slot made a couple of changes in San Siro, 4 here today. But Liverpool are purring, leading 3-0 as Gravenberch doing ever so well once more in that number 6 role, gets it through to Szoboszlai. Bournemouth have been opened up again. Szoboszlai running at the heart of the Bournemouth defence, and in the end it just tightened for him, and Howson was the one who got it away. He had options to the left, he had options to the right, he didn't use either.
You know, Bournemouth really reckless in their approach, and Szoboszlai should have popped it out to Mo Salah. It was 4 against 3 for Liverpool, and Szoboszlai tried to drive himself and get a shot off. Liverpool should have created another big opportunity there.
McAllister links up with Nunez, tried to get the ball back to him. McAllister loses the ball by Semenyo. Colchester United 2, Tranmere Rovers 0 is the latest score in League 2. Going around the grounds at half-time with Mark Chapman very, very soon. But Liverpool are coming forward once more. Nunez, Bournemouth back off him, plays it out. The Gold Cup on its way here on 5 Live from Ayr. As here is Alexander-Arnold back to a walking pace, and Konate to Kelleher. So as promised, let's go to Ayr. Darren Owen with the Ayr Gold Cup.
The Ayr Gold Cup is underway, and Kings Lynn is the first to stride over on the far side and is racing prominently with Sergeant Wilco and Strike Red. Comanche Falls, Jordan Electrics down the centre of the course with Silky Wilkie, then Most Up Sheer, Coachello, Lethal Levi. They're racing in 3 groups, but they're mainly towards the far side, looking for the favourite American Affair, racing keenly in mid-division, and over on the far side it is Sergeant Wilco, Silky Wilkie, Jordan Electric, Lethal Levi, all with pace, followed by Dare to Hope, and then Aramis Grey, Coachello, Ramazan is next, Pilgrim near side, followed by Northern Express. Over to the far side, trying to get into the race, 5,000 to 1 is alongside Glenfinnan, and American Affairs now beginning to progress, and they're right across the track inside the 2 furlong marker, and it's Strike Red far side, Jordan Electrics, Most Up Sheer, Aramis Grey, Comanche Falls, bang there, Silky Wilkie, Lethal Levi's coming home well, and it's the grey Aramis Grey who takes over now from Strike Red. Aramis Grey, Strike Red, here comes Lethal Levi flying up the near side, and Lethal Levi has won the Ayr Gold Cup in convincing style, and there's a bunch finish for the places. Corker was one of those involved for second place, but a bunch finish for the places. Lethal Levi is the winner of the Ayr Gold Cup, number 7 on the card, and the SP is 20 to 1. There is a photo for second place. It looks as though Silky Wilkie might have got second, and if that's the case, it means Carl Burke has trained the first, second and third, because Corker is the other horse involved in the places. Great achievement from Carl Burke.
Thank you, Darren. Bolton Wanderers 3, Reading 1 is the latest score in League 1 in the Championship. Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1. Portsmouth without any wins this season in any competition, drawn 3 and lost 3, but they are leading at 4th place Burnley at Turf Moor. As Liverpool 3-0 up, thought they'd got a throw. Tony Harrington thinks otherwise over on that far side. Under 2 minutes of this first half to go here at Anfield. And let's get news of that goal from Julia Bold.
It's Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1 against the run of play as well. Callum Lang just there, clean on goal to poke that ball into the back of the net. Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1.
Thanks, Julia. Wicket of the cricket, Eleanor Oldroyd.
And they've lost Ben Duckett, England. Now they're 65 for 4, chasing 271 to win. A bit of a miscued shot and brilliantly caught and bowled by Hardy. So he was out for 32, Duckett. England 65 for 4 in the 10th over, in a lot of trouble here.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. Bournemouth are in a lot of trouble here.
Well, they are, and their principle of players, they want to be aggressive with their press, but once Liverpool have beaten the press, they've absolutely destroyed this Bournemouth team in the first half, and 3-0 really. Flat as Bournemouth, Liverpool have had other opportunities and just not taken them. But I think Liverpool could do this to any team in the Premier League, but Bournemouth have played into the hands.
Mentioned that Mike Williamson has taken charge of Carlisle United. Carlisle, who've lost 7 of their previous 8, but they are leading now at the county ground in League 2. Swindon Town 0, Carlisle United 1. Another wicket at the cricket. Ellie.
Yes, Aaron Hardy's got 2 in 2, and Liam Livingston, first ball just edging down the leg side and caught by Alex Carey. He's out for a duck. England 65 for 5.
Commentary on Sports Extra as Bournemouth have a throw on that far side, the left. And just to think, the Bournemouth supporters had made that long journey up in that bottom tier away towards our left in the Anfield Road end. It could have been oh so different had it not been for that VAR decision. And Semenyo had celebrated only to see those celebrations cut short.
Well, it was offside, though. I mean, it was the correct decision. No debate over that.
No.
Just to be clear.
I didn't say there was a debate, just to be clear.
You said a VAR decision.
Which it was.
Well,
but I was just saying how it could have been different. And how when they'd celebrated so early.
Had he been onside, it could have been different.
You would cause trouble in an empty house, do you know that?
It's slightly harsh. You're not the first person who said that.
Here is Szoboszlai on the stretch, running forward. Of course, you can have your say with Chris a little later on 6:06. Feel free to take him to task about anything. As Luis Diaz forward. Slows it down then with Robertson and Szoboszlai. St Johnstone have got an equaliser in the Scottish Premiership. Ross County 1, St Johnstone 1. Rangers play later on in the Scottish League Cup. We'll have news of that at 5:30. Ibrox hosting its first game since May.
Yeah, it's good for Rangers. Back at home. St Johnstone sacked Craig Levine as well. Did you? I mean, you were away in Italy, weren't you, in the week? But yeah, so they'll need a new manager. It's all happening.
Change at McDermott Park. Fond memories of McDermott Park back in the days of Alec Totten and Bert Payton. The Super Saints. Going back some years now, of course. Yeah. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0. So many fond memories for Bournemouth when they travel to Anfield, given their dreadful record, which is set to continue, because Liverpool, when they're unbeaten at home in the Premier League, haven't lost a home game since December 2009. It's a run that goes back 145 games since Arsenal turned it around. So one would suggest that Bournemouth have got it all to do. Half-times will be going around with Mark Chapman. 5 Live, the World Service, as well as BBC Sounds. Cross comes in from the left, headed away by Konate. Alexander-Arnold hammers the ball away downfield for Mo Salah. And because of those 3 goals, Liverpool are actually top of the Premier League on goal difference now, with 12 points, just ahead of Manchester City. Howson could be getting a yellow card. There was a covering defender, wasn't there, in Zabani, so it's just going to be a yellow card for Dean Howson.
Brilliant ball from Alexander-Arnold. That early pass. They'll be checking this whether you're right. I think Zabani, could he have got across? Was Mo Salah offside? I think Zabani would have got across, so you're right, so a yellow will suffice. But the pass, the weight of the pass, the early spot from Trent Alexander-Arnold, Salah would have been away.
The third Bournemouth player to be booked in this first half. Well, and then obviously add the manager Irola as well. Harry Kane, I notice, is on the score sheet. Bayern Munich have got a 3rd goal against Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga. Liverpool have got a free kick. We're in stoppage time here at Anfield. Alexander-Arnold stands over it. 6 yards away from the corner of the penalty area. In it goes, and Kepa takes it off the head of Howson. And there is the half-time whistle. And Liverpool are cruising. 2 goals from Diaz, and then another one from Nunez, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, it's been lethal, Liverpool. They weren't last week. About responding today in the Premier League. Got to say, the first goal, brilliant as it was from Diaz. Kepa made a terrible misjudgment coming out of his box. Was never going to get the ball. Diaz rounded him and popped it in. And a couple of moments later, Trent Alexander-Arnold out to the left-hand side. Diaz with another finish. Nunez getting on the score sheet. I think Bournemouth, they've been slightly naive with their approach, and Liverpool have ruthlessly exploited them.
They certainly have. 2 goals from Diaz and 1 from Nunez after that early Bournemouth goal had been quite rightly disallowed after a VAR check. Half-time at Anfield, Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0.
Half-time at Craven Cottage, Lee Blakeman.
Fulham 2, Newcastle 0. It should be 4 or 5 though, as Fulham have been excellent. 1 up after 5 minutes, seconds after Newcastle had one disallowed for offside. Jimenez scored with a great shot on the turn down the other end. 2-0 midway through the half. Smith Rowe starting and finishing a nice move. Awful error by Pope though, as it was poked past him. Smith Rowe has hit the bar. Pope has made saves to deny Jimenez, Traore and Anderson, as Newcastle have been absolutely hopeless. Fulham 2, Newcastle 0.
Just watching all the Premier League games this afternoon, and by the way, Bolton have just got a 4th at home to Reading. Dion Charles has completed his hat-trick. 2 of those have come from the penalty spot, but they lead Reading by 4 goals to 1. Just watching all of the Premier League games this afternoon, which are being played in really nice conditions, apart from one, and Leicester looks like he's got his own microclimate this afternoon. It is absolutely lashed down, Chris.
This game, Mark, is being played in atrocious conditions. Not only is it hammering down, and has done for the last half hour, thunder and lightning very audibly and visibly in the air. The crowd are entertaining themselves by loudly cheering every rumble of thunder, and if you're a Leicester supporter, that's kind of the only thing you've got to cheer about, because Everton have been very good, leading this game by 1-0 despite all their off-field issues. They've been admirably calm. Iliman Ndiaye's goal, collecting the ball just inside the box, finishing off the inside of the post. They've had excellent chances to double that advantage. Jesper Lindstrom twice, 1 saved, 1 just over. Leicester yet to get going and have rarely threatened Jordan Pickford in a game that is being played in torrid conditions. Leicester 0, Everton 1.
In the Bundesliga this afternoon, Harry Kane and Michael Olise have scored within the space of 3 minutes, and Bayern Munich lead 4-0 at Werder Bremen. They're scoring some goals at the moment of Vincent Kompany's side, 9 in the week. In the Champions League, Tottenham have turned things round at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, they conceded after 22 seconds, but Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou go in at half-time here with the advantage. That great volley high up into the roof of the Spurs net from Brian Mbomo, cancelled out 7 minutes later by Dominic Solanke. That is first goal for his new side. Spurs then put together several lovely attacking moves and were rewarded midway through the first half with the second goal scored by Brennan Johnson, but created by Son Heung-min. But as we know with the Spurs defence, there are cracks there to be exploited. The message I'm sure that Thomas Frank will try to give his Brentford players at half-time, because there was a very hairy moment for Vicario just before the break as well. But it is Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
The battle of the 2 promoted sides is going the way of the home team at the moment. Henry Moran.
Southampton 1, Ipswich 0. Tyler Dibling's first senior goal, brilliantly worked. Adam Lallana making that reverse pass into the box. Dibbling with the touch and finish. Ipswich have kept Ramsdale busy, but Southampton have come closest to a second goal. Cameron Archer breaking through, routing the goalkeeper on the stretch. He could only hit the near post. Southampton on course for their first points of the season. Southampton 1, Ipswich 0.
Half-time whistlers just gone at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
News to me, Mark. They're still playing, but never mind.
Do you know why? I tell you why. Because on my screen, Unai Emery's gone down the tunnel.
Really?
Oh, well, that, on what I saw, yeah. Anyhow, obviously you're still playing.
I suspect he's gone down the tunnel because he's ready to give the Villa players the mother of all rollicking. Because it's 1-0 at the moment. It could be 3-0. There goes a half-time whistle, by the way. It's all Villa's fault. Rolling a ball around as usual, thinking they're all Franco Baresi's, and then the Brazilian Carlos obligingly gave the ball to his fellow Brazilian Cunha, who smacked it in with the right foot. They could have scored a couple more, as Villa could not come to terms with the belligerence and game organisation of a very impressive Wolves. It's Wolves. I'll start again. Villa 0, Wolves 1. I think it's half time.
We got there in the end. Thank you very much. In the early game in the Premier League, comfortable for Chelsea, who won 3-0 at West Ham. In the Championship earlier, Norwich 4, Watford 1, QPR 1, Millwall 1, and Sunderland beat Middlesbrough by 1-0. So that takes them back to the top of the table, above West Brom, who are at home to Plymouth. Half-time there, at least I hope it is. Sani Rajavajula.
Yes, it definitely is. West Brom 0, Plymouth Argyle 0. You don't hear it very often. It's been a thoroughly entertaining stalemate. Albion hit the post 3 times. Grant inside the box. Mowat and Swift from outside within a minute of each other. Josh Maja should have made it 6-6 early on. He got the ball in the back of the net with 5 to go, but he was offside. Argyle have had chances too. Ryan Hardy's been through twice. Morgan Whittaker should have done better for his efforts. It's been a good game here, but at the break, it's West Brom 0, Plymouth Argyle 0.
Well, he's in good form this season. It's Josh Maja. He's got 5 in 5 in all competitions, but not on the score sheet yet. Surprise on the cards at Turf Moor. Julia.
Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1, not what anyone predicted at kick-off, but the struggling visitors had been threatening to break the deadlock, but it was Freddie Potts on his debut who started the goal, winning the ball. Burnley keeper James Trafford went to his right for a low cross that was coming in. It went right by him. Callum Lang there to tap it over the line. Scott Parker's side were trying to stay patient. They've been left frustrated though. Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1.
Last weekend, Derby had one of the misses of the season. You'll be able to find that on social media if you haven't seen it. They haven't scored either this afternoon. Goalless at Bramall Lane. Naz.
Yeah, Sheffield United 0, Derby County 0. End to end, this Derby nearly scored inside 8 seconds here, Mark. Caden Jackson's shot deflected behind for a corner. At the other end, Jezran Raksaki hit the bar from inside the box, and Gustavo Harmer with a lovely run and low drive, which was saved by the Derby keeper Jakob Vidal Zetterstrom. At the other end, Nathaniel Mendes Lang has hit the post. Both managers have had a yellow card each as well, after a little bit of a difference of opinion on the touchline between Paul Ward and Chris Wilder. Sheffield United 0, Derby County 0.
Bottom of the table, Cardiff is struggling again. Now McCorn.
Yeah, Cardiff 0, Leeds 1, Chappers, and Cardiff's boss Errol Bullitt under serious pressure after his side's woeful start to the season. He called for a performance to make the late Sol Bamba proud today, and they were holding their own against Leeds until reduced to 10. Joel Bagan clipped Wilfried Gnonto as he tried to spring free, enough for a red card in the eyes of the referee. It didn't take long for Leeds to make that numbers advantage count either. Ramazani rifling home after being slipped through. He's starting for Daniel Farke's side today in place of the injured Manor Solomon. Overall, Leeds the better side in the first half as they look to respond to being beaten by Burnley last weekend. Cardiff need every ounce of guts and grit they can summon to salvage something in the second half. 10-man Cardiff 0, Leeds United 1.
Liam Manning's Bristol City are taking on his former club Oxford, and Oxford lead at Ashton Gate at the break. Ruben Rodriguez just on the half hour to give Des Buckingham's side the lead. They've lost all 3 of their away games so far this season, have Oxford. It's Coventry 1, Swansea 2. Liam Cullen's third of the season, and Ollie Cooper putting them 2-0 up. An own goal has pulled one back for Mark Robbins' side. It's goalless between Luton and Sheffield Wednesday. In League One earlier, Exeter beat Stevenage by 2-0, and it finished Lincoln 0, Wigan 0. We're with Wrexham this afternoon, who lead at the break. Nick Hatton.
Yeah, Wrexham 1, Crawley 0. Elliot Lee's 24th minute goal, the difference so far, firing home from a recycled Tom O'Connor corner for his 3rd league goal of the season. Crawley, though, have had the best of the chances either side of that goal. Will Swan with 3 of them, forcing 2 saves out of Aquanco in the Wrexham goal. The best chance, though, falling just before half-time. Crawley's Armando Cuterna threw on goal, rounded Aquanco, but fired over the open goal from 16 yards. We should be level, but at half-time it's Wrexham 1, Crawley 0.
Elsewhere in League One this afternoon, Bolton lead Reading by 4-1. Dion Charles has got a hat-trick there this afternoon, 2 of them from the penalty spot. He's now got 5 for the season. Barnsley are bouncing back from that 7-0 defeat at Old Trafford in the League Cup during the week, and they lead at Burton by 1-0. Charlton are trailing Blackpool by 2-0 at the break. Surprise at Huddersfield as well, who've won 4 of 5 in the league so far this season, but they're trailing Northampton 2-0 at home at the break. Mansfield 0, Shrewsbury 1. Leo Castledine with that goal, 2 for the season for him. He's on loan from Chelsea. Peterborough lead Bristol Rovers by 2-0. The first of those goals scored by Kwame Poku, who's now got 4 for the season. Surprise at Edgeley Park, Stockport, who are, up until today, undefeated in the league, trail Leyton Orient by 2-0 at the break. Ethan Galbraith has got both of those, 3 for the season for him, and it's Wickham 1, Cambridge 1. Well, with the top 2 in League 2 this afternoon, Notts County and Gillingham. Nikesh Ragani.
Yeah, where it's leaders Notts County 0, second place Gillingham 1. The home side looking deflated at the half-time whistle. They dominated that first half. They should really have scored on more than one occasion. Nick Tarula had 3 good chances himself, including hitting the post from a close-range effort after a rebound from a shot from Jody Jones, which was saved. George Abbott also missing a sitter from 6 yards out. Gillingham's goal, though, came completely against the run of play. A long through ball slicing open the county defence just a moment moment where they just switched off, and Elliot Nevitt latched on, rounded the keeper, stroked the ball into the net with his right foot. So a big half coming up then for Stuart Maynard's side. It's Notts County 0, Gillingham 1.
Elsewhere in League Two, in the two early games, Accrington Stanley 2, Port Vale 2 and Chesterfield 1. Cheltenham 1. Barrow lead Newport by 1-0 at the break. They've lost just 1 of 6 this season, have Barrow. It's goalless between Bradford and AFC Wimbledon. Lyle Taylor's got both of Colchester's goals and they lead Tranmere by 2-0. Crewe 2, Harrogate 0. Kane Hemmings got the first of those, 2 for the season for him. Goalless between Grimsby and Bromley. MK Dons, who've got Dean Lewington in caretaker charge after Mike Williamson left to go to Carlisle. They've had a good first half. They lead Doncaster by 1-0, and Doncaster are down to 10 in that game. Harry Clifton with 2 yellow cards inside the first 10 minutes. It's goalless between Salford and Walsall, and Mike Williamson, who left MK Dons for Carlisle, has had a good first 45 minutes in charge of Carlisle. They lead at Swindon by 1-0. Into the National League, AFC Fylde 0, Woking 0, Aldershot 0, York 0, Altrincham 0, Boston 0, Braintree 0, Tamworth 0. Eastleigh lead Rochdale by 2-1. Forest Green Rovers are a goal up at Gateshead. Dagenham and Redbridge lead at Hartlepool by 1-0. Maidenhead and Halifax and Oldham and Yeovil are both goalless. Solihull Moors 1, Southend 2 and Sutton 1. Ebbsfleet 0. In the Scottish Premiership this afternoon, just a couple of games. Ross County 1, St Johnstone 1 and St Mirren lead struggling Hearts by 2-1. Bottom of the table as things stand are Hearts. In the Championship, Morton 1, Airdrieonians 0, Partick 0, Dunfermline 0. Queen's Park lead second in the table, Ayr by 1-0. And it's Wraith 2, Hamilton 1. In Scottish League 1, Alloa 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Arbroath 0, Annan 0, Dumbarton 0, Montrose 1. Inverness, Cally Thistle 0, Cove Rangers 1, and Stenhousemuir and Queen of the South are goalless at the break. In League 2, Clyde 0, Elgin 0. Elgin down to 10 inside the third minute. They had a man sent off. East 5-2, Peterhead 0, Forfar 1, Stranraer 1, and Stirling Albion 0. Bonnyrigg Rose 1. Not a lot on the final Super League game of the regular season. Hull against Catalan, Matt Newsom.
Yeah, familiar story for Hull at half-time. They trail Catalan by 6 points to 4, but the difference is that they've given their home fans plenty to cheer. Lewis Martin scoring an early try, then the pantomime villain Liam Moore chalked up a try for the retiring Danny Houghton, and Chris Sartai, back on her familiar turf as a Catalans player, scored just before the break to put them in front. So, as I say, Hull behind, but they have given the fans something to cheer, but it's Catalan who lead by 6 points to 4.
2 games in Women's Super League today. Manchester United beat West Ham 3-0. Grace Clinton back from her loan spell at Tottenham, getting one of the goals, and Kiko Saker with a hat-trick, and Fran Kirby with her first goal for Brighton gave them a 4-0 win over Everton. In the cricket, the second one-day international, England need 271 to beat Australia. They are struggling at Headingley, though. It is 88 for 5 in the 13th over. Just after 4 o'clock, 2 minutes past 4, Dan Morsley has the news.
The voice of the UK. And the home of the Premier League. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Lebanon's health minister says Friday's Israeli airstrike in Beirut is now known to have killed at least 37 people, including children. Hezbollah says the strike killed 2 of its senior military commanders. Cross-border attacks between Hezbollah and Israel have continued today. Hezbollah-affiliated media say the Iran-backed Lebanese movement has today fired around 90 rockets into northern Israel. Israel's military says it has struck thousands of rocket launchers in airstrikes on Lebanon. And lawyers representing women allegedly raped or sexually assaulted by the late Harrods owner Mohammed Al-Fayed say they've received 150 new inquiries since this week's BBC documentary aired. They said the inquiries relate to a mix of survivors and individuals with evidence about Al-Fayed.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Opening weekend of the Gallagher Premiership season, Bristol won at Newcastle and Bath beat Northampton last night. First game of today. Doesn't sound like a thriller at Sandy Park. Exeter 0, Leicester 3. at the break. They've got a VAR check for a Harvey Barnes goal at Fulham. Whilst we wait for that, let's head back to Anfield where they are back underway. Ian Dennis.
Yeah, but only just, thank you Mark, and I can tell you that Bournemouth have made a change. Justin Kluivert has come off, Dango Ouattara has come on to replace him. He was a doubt ahead of the game with an ankle injury. So Bournemouth 3-0 down have made a change. They're all in white, they're playing from right to left as we look. Kepa in goal, a back four of Araujo, Howson, Zabani and Kirkes, Cook and Christie, Ouattara, Tavernier, Semenyo and Ivan Nielsen. As for Liverpool, leading 3-0, 2 goals from Luis Diaz and 1 from Nunez. Kelleher in goal, a back four of Alexander-Arnold. And also Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and a front three of Salah, Nunez and Luis Diaz. As that's caught by Kelleher, and he gathers that ball in on the left-hand side. So, Lee Blakeman, did that Harvey Barnes goal stand or not?
It did. It's Fulham 2, Newcastle 1. Barnes with a lovely finish into the bottom corner, assisted by the man who'd just come on as a sub, Jacob Murphy. 30 seconds into the second half, Fulham 2, Newcastle 1.
Liverpool are attacking. Szoboszlai running into trouble. Loose ball picked up. The referee, though, has actually brought play back, despite the fact that the loose ball was a potential shooting opportunity for McAllister.
He's furious. Alexis McAllister is still shaking his head at that decision. It was a strange decision. The advantage not played there. McAllister, he was 25 yards out centrally, poised to get a shot off. They got the free kick anyway.
So attacking the Kop end, this free kick is going to be rolled out by Alexander-Arnold to Mo Salah. Back in then to Szoboszlai. Gravenberch plays the ball forward in the air. The header back by Nunez unselfishly was looking for McAllister, slightly misdirected. Bournemouth get it away. 2/3 of Anfield now is bathed in sunshine here on Merseyside. Van Dijk in the shadows though finds Diaz. Back then to Konate in the centre circle. Now with Mo Salah, and back with Konate once again. What do you do if you're Bournemouth? I mean, do you just go for damage limitation? A ball forward for Salah to Nunez, runs into Kepa with a save. Or do you try and claw your way back but then run the risk of conceding again?
Well, I think that Antonio Raiola made his position pretty clear in the first half with that. At 3-0 down, they were still brave, they were still pressing Liverpool extremely high up the pitch. So I think he'll be aggressive in the second half, but of course, you look at the Liverpool attackers on the pitch and then you look at what they've got to come off the bench, and I think we're going to get more goals in this game. Of course, Bournemouth with the change of Ouattara out on that left-hand side with Marcus Tavernier now playing centrally in behind Ivan Nielsen in that attacking midfield, number 10 position.
That's the voice of Chris Sutton, who will be taking your calls on 6:06 after our next commentary. Crystal Palace, Manchester United, that follows Sports Report. Alistair Bruce Ball and Mark Warburton for that game at Selhurst Park at 5:30. Semenyo chips the ball out to this near side. Kirkes, Bournemouth playing from right to left, down the line. Ouattara's cross is a tame effort, lacking any power, and Gravenberch is easily able to bring the ball clear as he chips it out towards Diaz. Araujo though with the interception, and the ball will run free for Christie inside the centre circle, who gets it back from Howson, able to turn, left-footed floated ball out towards that far side, the right. Grimsby Town have taken the lead. Grimsby Town 1, Bromley 0 is the latest score in League 2. And then tomorrow we've got Brighton, Nottingham Forest at 2, Manchester City 4:30, part of 5 Live Premier League Sunday. But the live sport isn't over with tonight. Mentioned it in the first half, but the big fight live on 5 Live this evening from Wembley Stadium at 8:30. Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois. The undercard on Sports Extra from 7. Ball into the penalty area, comes out to Semenyo, takes a shot, deflected, down into the ground, and behind for a corner it goes.
Well, they didn't deal with the cross at all well. Liverpool, from the right-hand side it was Araujo, and the ball just sat up for Semenyo, who choked the shot into the ground off the back of Konate for a corner. What Liverpool mustn't do, of course, is give Bournemouth any encouragement. Bournemouth with the opportunity now from the corner. I think it's Tavernier over there, left-footed in-swinger.
They produced a remarkable comeback just a matter of weeks ago, the other side of Stanley Park. Everton fans won't need reminding of that. The corner is taken short to the edge of the box to Christie. Looped back in Tavernier keeps it in play, but he runs back out towards that far side. He gets a throw deep inside the Liverpool half on the Bournemouth right. Mansfield 1, Shrewsbury 1 is the latest score in League 1, and in League 2, Walsall, who are having a good start to the season, are leading at Salford City. Salford City 0, Walsall 1 is a latest scoreline. Those goals, incidentally, the 87th, 92nd and 96th minute for those goals against Everton, who've made a habit of throwing away leads of late. They do have a slender one at Leicester, though, by a 0-0. Aston Villa 0, Wolves 1, Fulham 2, Newcastle 1, Southampton 1, Ipswich 0, Tottenham 2, Brentford 1 are the other latest scores so far in the Premier League this Saturday afternoon. Bournemouth seeing a lot of the ball in these early exchanges of this second period. Zabani's diagonal ball out towards Ouattara. Kirkez is ahead of him. Even Nielsen has made the run into the channel, and the ball goes straight through to Kelleher.
It's a heavy pass. I think Arne Slot clearly unhappy. He's off his bench, up on the touchline, waving his Liverpool players to get higher up the pitch when they're out of possession and engage Bournemouth, not to give them any encouragement.
All 10 Liverpool goals this season have been scored from inside the penalty area. 3 of them in the first half. And they're looking to maintain their 100% winning record when scoring first in the early stages of this Premier League campaign. Diaz, who's on a hat-trick, collects the ball over on that far side. The right-back, Araujo, holds him up, lays it back towards Robertson, has to go the long way around. His Scottish international teammate, Christie, will get there first and plays it back to Kepa. Stockport County have reduced the arrears in League 1. Stockport County 1, Leyton Orient 2. And Sheffield Wednesday are leading at Kenilworth Road. Luton Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Kirkes hits the ball early. Back header away by Van Dijk, falls to the feet of Konate, and Liverpool pass the ball forward midway through their own half. It is with Gravenberch to Szoboszlai. In midweek, Arne Slot was saying he wants to see more goals from midfield from Dominic Szoboszlai.
Yeah, I mean, he's over his career, I think he scored many memorable goals. I think that you want to get goals from different areas of the team and not just be reliant, as Liverpool I suppose have been in recent seasons, just on Mo Salah, who's been super prolific.
Derby County strong at home but yet to win away, and they're behind at Bramall Lane as Sheffield United, unbeaten in the Championship, lead by a 0-0. Naz Premji.
Yes, it's a Gustavo Harmer free kick, edge of the box. He's curled it up and around and into the top corner. Sheffield United 1, Derby County 0. Crawley Town have equalised at Wrexham. Wrexham 1, Crawley Town 1 is the latest score in League 1. The last we heard, Charlton were behind, Birmingham City were ahead, Liverpool coming forward. Alexander-Arnold enters the penalty area onto his right foot, looking for a handball against Araujo. Referee might have been unsighted, but there are strong appeals there for a penalty as Bournemouth can bring the ball away. Let's get news of the goal with Ian Carter.
Close of the third day here with Matteo Manacero at the top of the leaderboard. A brilliant 63 for the Italian, and that means at 18 under par he leads by 3 from Billy Horschel and Rory McIlroy.
Thank you, Ian. Semenya with a shot on the edge of the area, left-footed, straight at Kelleher. The referee hasn't had a word with Kelleher at the moment just to hold on to the ball, but have you had chance to see it again?
No, I haven't, so apologies. Here we go. So it's Alexander-Arnold. He flicks it with the outside of his right boot upwards towards Araujo, but his arm is tucked in. And it's a couple of yards away. I think it's the correct position of the arm not to award a penalty. Had his arm been outstretched away from his body, then we'd understand it, but the referee's got that right.
I think if anything as well, he's actually trying to move his left arm away, isn't he, from the ball?
Yeah.
Let's get news of that Crawley equaliser, Nick Hatton.
Yeah, it's Armando Caterna that has got a wonderfully timed run just a few moments after he'd missed that open goal on the stroke of half-time. Fed through, rounded to Okonkwo and fired home from 12 yards out. Wrexham 1, Crawley 1.
Liverpool leading by 3-0. 10 minutes into the second half. BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. Fulham Newcastle now, Lee Blakeman.
Fulham 2, Newcastle 1, but Fulham should have had a third. Cross towards the back post, Iwobi 5 yards out, great shot, and how Pope kept it out with his thigh, I've got absolutely no idea. Great save to keep it at Fulham 2, Newcastle 1.
Kelleher clears the ball high in the air. Cook touches it inside to Christie. Irola in conversation with his coaching staff as Christie just runs into a lot of traffic, a lot of red shirts, and there is Szoboszlai, who passed the ball to Van Dijk. There was a shout of man on from the crowd that alerted Van Dijk, who nonchalantly just gave the ball away. Gravenberch is excelling in this number 6 role for Liverpool. Super play by Gravenberch, launches a Liverpool attack. Robertson with a cross, out of play, it goes for a throw.
He's got that burst, that yard, hasn't he, to get away from opposing players. Did it brilliantly in the centre of the park there. He's got control of this game, Gravenberch.
Gravenberch with a shot, and the goalkeeper from distance spills it, pats the ball down. Even from our position here, you could see it moving in the air.
Yeah, all sorts of movement on the ball. He's all of 30 yards out, not closed down, and wallops the ball. Does move, and Kepa is comfortable in the end.
That was like one of those orange and black plastic balls you used to get from Woolworths as a kid, and all of a sudden you were able to hit the ball and you'd be able to just for a moment feel as if you were like Zico or Eder, because you'd be able to give it a little bit of curve.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever shopped in Woolworths. I think I know what you mean.
You know the old plastic balls?
Yeah.
Bristol City have got an equaliser. Bristol City 1, Oxford United 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Let's get an update from Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
It's still Villa 0, Wolves 1. We've barely had any play in this second half because Leon Bailey, who came on as a sub for John McGinn at half-time, McGinn must be injured. For his pains, he got a smack on the mouth from Ait Nuri, and he was down for a couple of minutes. We've restarted. I wonder how long it'll be before Villa bring on John Duran, their super sub. It's Villa 0, Wolves 1.
Scored a cracker last week, didn't he, John Duran? Chris Cole's watching Leicester against Everton.
Leicester 0, Everton 1. We've only played 5 minutes of the second half. We had an extended half-time break to wait for the storm to pass. Still pouring down with rain, and Everton are still pouring forward and look very good for this 1-0 lead 51 minutes in.
The stewards here at Anfield were talking about a storm that was due to approach Merseyside at some point later on today, but certainly doesn't appear to be any storm at the moment. We've got bright sunshine and blue sky. Salford City 0, Walsall 2 is the latest score in League 2. Bournemouth are attacking. Ouattara, his ball in field, intercepted by McAllister. Szoboszlai midway through the Liverpool half, out towards Salah. Northampton Town have got a third at Huddersfield, as Zabani just has to tidy up at the back to prevent it reaching Luis Diaz, and Kepa can clear. Southampton Ipswich, Henry Moran.
Southampton 1, Ipswich 0. Could so easily have been more for the hosts, though. On 2 occasions, Cameron Archer forcing firstly a good save from the goalkeeper Muric, and then just unable to stretch far enough to tuck the ball home. 59 gone. Southampton 1, Ipswich 0.
They were called Wembley, those plastic balls. In towards Salah. Salah looks to go on the outside of Kepa. Kepa makes the save, doesn't get there. Salah takes it away. Salah still looking. Salah rolls it goalwards, and waiting on the goal line was Kirkes to chip the ball away. Tottenham, Brentford, Masparuki.
Bright start in the second half for Spurs. Kulusevski forcing Flecken into a double block. He's had to be alert, the Brentford keeper, at the start of the second half, but it is still Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
And here we've had a collision between Ouattara and Konate, and both players are down as Curtis Jones waits to come on.
Yeah, both players down. Konate just a bit careless with the challenge, a bit reckless with the challenge, runs into Ouattara, but I think he's come off worse. No, Konate is still down.
Still down, lying on his back. They're holding his head at the moment, the two physios. Nunez is having a word with the referee. Arne Slot taking advantage to have a word with Alexander Arnold and Mo Salah. Let's get the team news from Selhurst Park. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Marcus Rashford and Manuel Ugarte are both on the bench for Manchester United this evening against Crystal Palace. Alejandro Garnacho comes in for Rashford. It's the one change from the last Premier League game against Southampton. 2 changes for Palace from last weekend. Chris Richards and Daichi Kamada come in for Nathaniel Klein and Czech Takure.
Mark Warburton with Ali for commentary of that one after Sports Report. Match of the day tonight, BBC 1, 10:30. Bolton Wanderers 4, Reading 2, a latest score in League 1. Leyton Orient have extended their lead at Stockport. Stockport 1, Leyton Orient 3. Konate is back and on his feet. We'll go to Turf Moor, where it could be a big afternoon for Portsmouth. Julia Bolt.
It's still Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1, but it should be 2. Callum Lang had a chance to double the lead and get his second. He was dead centre of goal, but straight into the arms of James Trafford. Home fans getting frustrated. Burnley 0, Portsmouth 1.
Thank you, Julia. So Konate is able to continue. Curtis Jones is coming on, and it is going to be Dominic Szoboszlai who is going off. Before the next international break, Liverpool have got West Ham in the League Cup here on Wednesday. There'll be commentary of that, incidentally, on BBC Radio 5 Live. Wolves away next Saturday, Bologna at home in the Champions League, and then away to Crystal Palace themselves. So Szoboszlai comes off, and Curtis Jones, who made his first appearance against Forest of the season last weekend, is on for the Hungarian international.
Yep, like for like replacement. It's a squad game now for a lot of teams, a lot of the top teams in the Premier League, and managers rotate the players. It's going to be interesting, because there's always that expectation that the big teams need to win games.
Liverpool, as it stands, going top of the Premier League table. Semenyo, right-hand side, drives it in low on the right-hand side. Cleared by Van Dijk, out of play for a throw. Yeah, the League Cup coverage that we've got for you next week. Wimbledon-Newcastle is our live game on the Tuesday. Back here on Wednesday for Liverpool against West Ham United. 2 more games tomorrow, part of 5 Live Premier League Sunday. The boxing, of course, tonight that we've mentioned. Semenyo coming forward, uses his strength, low cross into the penalty area. Even Ilson was waiting, couldn't get there. Konate back on the field of play with the clearance. Luis Diaz on that far side, the left, in the sunshine here at Anfield. Across to Gravenberch. Gravenberch hits the ball forward, looking towards Salah. Salah up against Kerkez, nods it away from Kerkez, rolls it into Nunez, and on the cover was Zabani. You know, during that break for the injury to Konate, Arne Slot made a point of speaking to Alexander-Arnold and Salah, and he kept pointing down towards this right flank.
Yeah, keep feeding Mo Salah. That's when he's at his most dangerous. And he's sprinting in behind, got the better of Kerkez there.
62 minutes played. And Bournemouth seeing it on the ball, but Liverpool have dropped off. They're not being forced back, they have dropped off. And they're quite compact at this stage. So whilst Bournemouth's stats in terms of possession might be increasing, they're not really posing Liverpool many problems. Kerkez sweeps over the cross, there's no danger to the Liverpool goal. However, it inadvertently comes off the left boot by Robertson, and he concedes a corner kick. Let's go to West Bromwich Albion. Sani Rudavajala, you've seen a goal.
I have. West Brom 1, Plymouth Argyle 0, and it's Josh Maja with his 6th goal in 6 games. It's been coming for West Brom. A tap in from across from the right. West Brom 1, Plymouth Argyle 0.
We'll take West Brom back top after Sunderland had gone to the top of the table in the earlier game in that North East derby. The Weir Tees derby at the Stadium of Light with a 1-0 win. So West Bromwich Albion on course to go back a point ahead of Sunderland. Bournemouth with a corner on that right-hand side, headed further away at the far post behind for another corner kick. The other results, incidentally, Norwich 4, Watford 1, QPR 1, Millwall 1 in the Championship. West Ham United 0, Chelsea 3 was the scoreline in the early game in the Premier League. 2 early games in League 1. Exeter beat Stevenage 2-0. Lincoln and Wigan played out a goalless draw at Sinsel Bank. Accrington, who were 2-0 up, ended up drawing 2-2 with Port Vale in League 2, so still without a win. And Chesterfield 1, Cheltenham 1 was how it finished, also in the other game in League 2. No other goals to tell you about in the 3 o'clocks here on 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. Bournemouth have a corner kick near side, the left. In it goes to the crowded 6-yard box, cleared by Liverpool, who now can break with purpose. Nunez just couldn't quite get it into Salah inside the centre circle, and Araujo was covering, but Liverpool back in possession with Curtis Jones and a bit of space to run into.
Yeah, he underhit the pass there, Nunez. Big opportunity, and he'd have been better off overhitting the pass to Mo Salah. Plenty of space in behind, and that was an opportunity wasted from the Bournemouth corner. Liverpool breaking out.
With the exception of that blip that defeat against Nottingham Forest, Liverpool are on course for 5 wins out of 6 under the early stages of the tenure of Arne Slot. There's been a goal at Turf Moor. Julia Bolt.
It's an equaliser. Burnley 1, Portsmouth 1, and a substitute. Jeremy Sarmiento had just come on. He put it right past Will Norris, looping the ball from left to right. It's an equaliser. Burnley 1, Portsmouth 1.
Bournemouth on the edge of the area, lose the ball, then get it back. Ouattara sends over a cross. Van Dijk did well just to direct the ball up rather than away. Took it away from Eva Nilsson though, who now gets it, clips the ball back in. Van Dijk once more will repel with another header inside the penalty area. And here at Anfield, Liverpool still comfortably ahead of Bournemouth, but Bournemouth trying to get a toe back into this game. But with 25 minutes remaining, Liverpool still lead 3-0.
Yeah, but I've got to say, attacking wise, I think that Bournemouth will be fine this season. I think Eva Nilsson, although he needs a goal, his actual movement has been pretty good in the way that he's linked up. I think Semenya's actually had a good game on that right-hand side, driving at Robertson, causing him 1 or 2 problems. Ouattara, he's a dribbler. They've just been schooled a little bit in the first half with how aggressive they've been, and Liverpool are confident their build-up play will be better than the Bournemouth press, and that's the way the game has panned out.
He missed that penalty against Chelsea, didn't he, yeah. Eva Nilsson last week? But I am led to believe that Irola is very happy with Eva Nilsson indeed, as Gravenberch comes forward. He's overhit that out towards Diaz, and it zips away past the outstretched left boot of Diaz, and out it goes for a throw over on that far side, as Liverpool still have a 3-goal lead. Let's go to the cricket. England-Australia, the second ODI. Sports Extra has the commentary. Ellie Oldroyd keeping us up to date here on 5 Live.
And England trying to rebuild in the Headingley sunshine. Jamie Smith has just hit a 6 into the Western Terrace. He's on 27. Jacob Bethel on 19. England relying on the kids to get them out of trouble. 271 the target. England 106 for 5 after 17.
I bet the Western Terrace loved that. I used to frequent that myself as a youngster. As Peterborough United 3, Bristol Rovers 0 is the latest score in League One. Liverpool are attacking. Salah with the layoff comes through towards Nunez, shot blocked inside the penalty area. Tavernier midway through his own half, back towards Cook. Cook though dispossessed by a backtracking Alexander Arnold. Christie though now wins it back, brought down was he? No, McAllister, excellent challenge. McAllister to Diaz. Diaz finds Nunez, edge of the area, enters the box, and selfishly he looked to Salah rather than going for goal himself.
Yeah, he should have got a shot off. He's 15 yards out at the angle, took a touch, just a bit careless with the passes. What's going on at the back for Bournemouth?
Well, you said earlier on that Kepa was done like a kipper. There you had Kepa with his caper. Because he was going to clear it, then he left it towards Zabani, and there was confusion with Kepa and co at the back.
Yeah, leaving it for each other, which wasn't really a wise move.
That could so easily be a contender for Too Good, Too Bad for Match the Day 2 with Mark Chapman on a Sunday night, as Bournemouth are going to be making a triple change, I noticed down below. Final instructions just being handed out. There's going to see Alex Scott going to be coming on off the bench. That's going to be one of the changes.
And got a bit of strength and depth on the bench, haven't they? Quality to come off the bench.
Adam Smith is going to be another. Made 3 alterations for this game. No other goals to tell you about elsewhere, but there could be another one here, as Salah held off by Kerkez, and then Kerkez rolls to the floor and is adjudged to have been fouled by the Egyptian. So Scott will come on for Christie. Smith will replace Araujo at right back.
Sinistera, I think.
And Luis Sinistera, who actually played under Slot at Feyenoord even, is going to be the other change. So a triple change being made here. And as a result of that, we'll get an update from Villa Park and Pat Murphy.
It's still Villa 0, Wolves 1, but Villa have now brought on John Duran with half an hour to go. Now Duran has scored the winner, coming on as sub 3 times already this season. Let's see how he goes this time round. But Wolves holding them off with a degree of ease. It's Villa 0, Wolves 1.
Match of the day tonight, 10:30, BBC One for all the highlights. Scott replaces Christie, as we said, Smith for Araujo, and the third change was Sinistera for Semenyo. So the player who they signed From Feyenoord for £21 million after that move from Leeds United. Luis Sinisterra is on. 20 minutes remaining, and Liverpool are going to be making a change. Cody Gakpo, and we're going to have a league debut for Chiesa, who came on in the very late stages in San Siro on Tuesday night for his Liverpool debut, will be making his Premier League debut. This is with Sinisterra for Bournemouth, trailing by 3-0, but time desperately running out for them. News of a missed penalty at Cardiff, who remember are down to 10 men now. McCorn.
Well, Leeds United have just spurned the chance to go 2-0 up on their 10-man host. Pascal Streit missing the penalty, Jack Annick guessing the right way, saving with his legs. Jadon Bogle was fouled in the box by O'Dowda, but Strout couldn't convert. It's still Cardiff 0, Leeds 1.
20 minutes remaining here on BBC Radio 5 Live. There will be no hat-trick for Luis Diaz. He's going to be one of the two players coming off. Nunez is the other. So Chiesa will go out wide, and Gakpo will come on for Nunez. Unless, of course, Diaz can maybe get on the end of this ball as Salah enters the penalty area. And Salah sends over the cross, strikes Nunez, goal line block. Struck the body of Howson on the goal line after a right-footed shot from close range. They're appealing for handball. Howson didn't seem to know a lot about it, and Liverpool close to a fourth.
Oh, lucky Bournemouth there. Mo Salah does brilliantly on that right-hand side. We know he likes to come inside on his left foot and get shots off, but he drives the outside, gets to the byline, fizzes the ball across it, actually hits Kepa on the knee, bounces to Nunez, who takes the ball off his chest, right-footed, hits Howson on the line. He knows nothing about it, Howson, and goes to safety, but Nunez, job done for him.
They absolutely adore Darwin Nunez. His surname being chanted by the Liverpool faithful. High fives for Gakpo and Chiesa, who enters Anfield for his Premier League debut to a loud cheer for the Italian international. Came on in the 89th minute against Milan in midweek. Federico Chiesa and Gakpo are on. Diaz and Nunez, the goal scorers, make way with Liverpool leading 3-0 and 18 minutes remaining.
I mean, it's not bad, is it, being able to bring Gakpo and Chiesa off the bench. Chiesa moving into that centre-forward position. Gakpo off the left-hand side. Need some bench.
We'll bring you as much live reaction as we can into Sports Report from 5 to 5:30 before we cross to Selhurst Park for our next commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live. There are no other goals to tell you about. 18 minutes remaining so far, though, in this one, as Kepa hits it downfield, headed away by Gravenberch. Gakpo gets a little touch to Chiesa, hits it first time on the volley, caught it sweetly enough, and it was right into the midriff of Kepa.
Well, why not? 25 yards out, the ball just sitting there waiting to be hit. Takes it early, Chiesa. Doesn't catch it as cleanly as he would have liked, and it's comfortable for Kepa.
He likes to play on the left and cut inside onto his stronger right foot, Chiesa. I actually thought he would go wide. He can play on either flank, but at the minute he's the one who's adopted a central role. Salah stayed out on this right-hand side, but Gakpo, who was so influential in Milan on Tuesday night, has stayed out on that left-hand side.
Yeah, I think Chiesa has a reputation of being fairly versatile. I don't know how many times he's played as a central striker, though, in his career, but Liverpool have some options, don't they?
Certainly do. Here is Jones, another one who's come off the bench, just winning the ball in the midfield and playing it out. Liverpool have got a control in this game. Robertson head down, running forward. Gakpo's ahead of him, and that was just too far ahead of Gakpo, and it goes out of play for a Bournemouth throw. So in the Premier League earlier, West Ham 0, Chelsea 3. Latest scores: Aston Villa 0, Wolves 1. Fulham still lead Newcastle United by 2-1. Could be the end of an unbeaten start for Eddie Howe's side as they trail at Craven Cottage. Everton are still leading at Leicester 1-0. Here is McAllister on the edge of the area. Does he opt for goal? No, he doesn't. Instead, he holds on to it. The back heel by Gakpo didn't quite come off. Southampton lead Ipswich 1-0. Tottenham 2, Brentford 1 is the latest score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. This is Alexander-Arnold, level of the penalty area on the right-hand side, and then the ball is back with Konate, and still no other goals to tell you about. But Sheffield Wednesday are down to 10 men. So Sheffield Wednesday, who were leading at Luton by a 1-0, have now got to see out the next 15 minutes with only 10, and Bristol City leading Oxford United by 2-1. News of a chance at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Nearly the equaliser, still 1-0 to Wolves. At last, Bailey beat his man, got a crossover. Watkins, powerful header, bundled away by the keeper and Mosquera, the centre-back. Building up ahead of steam now. Villa 0, Wolves 1. This is
Sinisterra, forward ball. Eva Nielsen out to this near side for Tavernier, the left. Canate with the block. Rob Schofield is diligent as ever. Our producer says that in the programme, notes today that Slot and Gakpo have settled on that Gakpo is going to play on the left-hand side as a permanent fixture.
Oh, have they? So left-hand side all the time now then, yeah?
So as Eva Nielsen has come off and Bournemouth have made another change.
You know what happens, an injury to a striker, we'll move him back centrally. We all have our preferred positions.
Ines Unal is the player who has come on for the closing stages for Bournemouth. So they've used all their changes as Tavernier now with a shot, takes a deflection, corner kick to the away side.
Just a bit careless from Trent Alexander-Arnold, got caught, and Tavernier, left-hand side of the box, powering a shot off, deflected off Canate, I think, behind for a corner. Liverpool just won't want to make life difficult for themselves. Need to be switched on from this set piece, and Bournemouth into desperation time.
3 clean sheets already for Liverpool in the Premier League. Corner kick, in it goes to the near post, headed out by McAllister. Lewis Cook tries to get on the end of it, edge of the area, stopped by Ouattara, played back to the edge of the area, and this is Sinisterra looking to go the long way around for a left-footed shot that didn't materialise. That sending off for Sheffield Wednesday has proved costly, as Carlton Morris has got an equaliser as the header from Howson loops and over the top of the crossbar it drops. So Luton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Because of the Scottish League Cup this weekend, we will have reports from Ibrox of Rangers Dundee a little later on. There are only 2 games in the Scottish Premiership. Latest scores: Ross County 1, St Johnstone 2, St Mirren 2, Hearts 1. Latest scores in League 2. Those 2 results, incidentally: Accrington 2, Port Vale 2, Chesterfield 1, Cheltenham 1. The latest scores: Barrow lead Newport County by a 0-0. They previously lost their 2 games before that by conceding 4 goals at Newport. Bradford City Wimbledon remains goalless at Valley Parade. Colchester United lead Tranmere 2-0. Crewe looking for 4 straight wins, leading Harrogate 2-0. Grimsby 1, Bromley 0. MK Dons 1, Doncaster Rovers 0. Both teams have had a player sent off, Harry Clifton and Ellis Harrison. Harrison, after the goal for MK Dons, has been dismissed. Notts County 0, Gillingham 1 in the top of the table clash. As here is Chiesa, tees it up towards Gakpo. Gakpo back to Chiesa, hits the post. Left-footed low, back off the right-hand post and into the grateful arms of Kepa.
Yeah, wouldn't have counted anyway. I think Chiesa initially, from the long diagonal ball from Canate, who just moved into an offside position. I think he wanted the ball played earlier. And he just goes a yard, makes around a fraction of a second early, is a yard offside as the ball's popped out to him again. Crashes a shot left-footed off the far post, but wouldn't have mattered.
I think I'd got up to Salford 0, Walsall 2 and Swindon 0, Carlisle United 1 in those latest scores in League 2. Peterborough 3, Bristol Rovers 1. In fact, Bristol Rovers have now scored again, so Peterborough 3, Bristol Rovers 2. 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes at London Road, and the fight back is very much on in League 1. The other latest scores in League 1: Bolton 4, Reading 2, Burton Albion 0, Barnsley 1, Charlton 0, Blackpool 2. Steve Bruce making an immediate impact then, it would seem, at Bloomfield Road. Huddersfield 0, Northampton 3, Mansfield 1, Shrewsbury 1, 3-2 to Peterborough as mentioned. Rotherham 0, Birmingham City 2, Stockport County 1, Leyton Orient 3, Wrexham 1, Crawley 1, so being held, and Wycombe 1, Cambridge 1, which will mean we could have new leaders in League 1 with Birmingham, who'd go 2 points clear of Wrexham. I'll give you the Championship latest scores in a moment, but Bournemouth here 25 yards out from goal, have got a free kick, but a goal at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Equaliser from Ollie Watkins, made by the persistence of Duran, who forced the ball through to Watkins. Right foot dinked it over the keeper. Expert finish. Villa 1, Wolves 1.
A goal at Leicester, Chris Coles.
For Leicester, an equaliser against Everton, 1-1. Steffi Mavididi, I think, got the final touch. It was scrappy, it was messy. It may have been headed into his own net by an Everton defender. It's Leicester 1, Everton 1.
And Wrexham will be remaining on top of League One as it stands, because they've just gone back in front. Wrexham 2, Crawley Town 1. In comes now with a free kick, takes a deflection, might fall towards Sinisterra, threw himself at it. Kelleher was quickly off his goal line. Behind it goes for a corner kick. Huddersfield Town have got a goal back. Huddersfield 1, Northampton Town 3. Still those latest scores to come from the Championship. News of that Wrexham goal quickly, Nick Hatton.
Yeah, Wrexham 2, Crawley Town 1. Ball in from the left, and there was Clewith with a header at the far post. Back across Wallacott to give Wrexham the lead. Wrexham 2, Crawley Town 1.
Cheers, Nick. Just in time for the corner kick to be taken. Those loyal Bournemouth fans have remained in that bottom tier of the Anfield Road end, away towards our left-hand side, despite seeing those 3 first-half goals their side they conceded, as the ball is clipped in, long, headed out for that corner kick by Konate, picked back up by Kirkes on this near side. Out it goes towards Cook, infield now, and this is Scott to run forward to, gets the return ball back, and then it runs away from him, and out it goes for a goal kick. We'll go to Southampton now, Henry Moran.
Southampton 1, Ipswich 0. Southampton on course for their first points of the season. The goal scorer Tyler Dibbling, standing ovation as he's just been substituted. Southampton, good value for the lead. Southampton 1, Ipswich 0.
Newcastle close to an equaliser, Lee Blakeman.
Fulham 2, Newcastle 1, should be 2-2. Fulham caught playing out from the back from a goal kick. It fell to Share 10 yards out. All he got to do was score, and he hit the side netting. Somehow still 2-1 Fulham.
Still 2-1 Tottenham, Maz.
Yeah, but what a chance for a Brentford equaliser. Kevin Schade had just come on the field. He had a power of a header 6 yards out, and it needed a huge pull from Vicario to keep it out. This one might not be done yet, but it's still Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
Just to round up the latest scores in the Championship, Bristol City still lead Oxford by 2-1, Burnley 1, Portsmouth 1, Cardiff down to 10 men, trailing at home to Leeds United by 1-0, Coventry 1, Swansea City 2, Luton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Sheffield Wednesday have had Bernard sent off. Sheffield United lead Derby County by 1-0, and West Bromwich Albion going back top of the table, leading Plymouth by 1-0 at the Hawthorns as Bournemouth are attacking. Sinisterra, good save by Kelleher, left-footed rising effort, that is near post, strong hand behind for a corner.
He's looked really lively, Sinisterra, since he's come on. Very direct as the ball's popped out to him on the left-hand side. Step over against Trent Alexander-Arnold, and flashes the ball with his left foot, fizzes it with his left foot, and Kelleher shouldn't be beaten his near post, but all the same has to be strong with that right hand to get it behind.
15 clean sheets in his previous 47 appearances, Quavin Kelleher. In comes the corner kick, and almost goes in, deflected onto the crossbar, down, and then somehow kept out on the goal line. That cannoned about like a pinball machine inside that penalty area. And Bournemouth now could spell this for the away side. Scott wins it back on that far side, 8 minutes remaining of normal time. I'd like to see that again as to how it was kept out. Ball played in towards Cook, stabs it forward. They appeal for a penalty, for a handball. Liverpool clear, counter-attack now for Liverpool. Salah with pace enters the penalty area, stopped in his track by Zabani. Colchester United 3, Tranmere Rovers 0, MK Dons 1, Doncaster 1, so Doncaster have got an equaliser. But Bournemouth coming forward with Scott. Out it goes towards that far side. This is Ouattara, it goes down inside the area. Tony Harrington has a good look at it. Kelleher picks the ball up, wicket at the cricket. Eleanor Oldroyd.
And Jacob Bethel is out, useful partnership broken. Maxwell the bowler, and he was out for 25. Bethel caught by Stark. Jamie Smith still there on 35. England now 120 for 6. They need another 151 runs from 28.5 overs.
Commentary on Sports Extra. Kieran Green sent off for Grimsby as they lead at home against Bromley by 1-0, and there's also been a sending off for Northampton Town. So Northampton Town are currently down to 10 men as well, as they are leading away at Huddersfield in League One.
Ouattara should have been booked there, Ian, shouldn't he? I don't know why he goes to ground like that when he's driving at defenders. Could have got a shot off.
Mayo sent off. 3-1 Northampton Stowe, they lead in West Yorkshire. Salah, forward ball, inside left channel, the penalty area. Gakpo pulls it back. Curtis Jones, shot takes a deflection, goes wide. In front of the Kop, Liverpool have a corner, they lead 3-0.
A sweeping Liverpool move. Alexander-Arnold into Salah, ball popped out to Gakpo, who likes to come inside on that right foot. Unselfishly fed the ball to Curtis Jones. I think his eyes lit up, he thought he'd scored, but 14-15 yards out, takes a slight deflection. Wonder whether it was just creeping in that far corner. Liverpool with the corner.
And his best scoring season last season did Curtis Jones with 5 goals. St Johnstone have got a third at Ross County. Ross County 1, St Johnstone 3. Liverpool still leading 3-0 on 5 Live with 5 minutes remaining of normal time. In front of an expectant Kop. Outswinging corner far side. Headed out by Ouattara, drops to the edge of the area. Maybe a potential break could be on here for Bournemouth. Over on that far side with Smith. Up it goes then to Ouattara, who's made good progress on that far side, or on the byline. Sends over the cross, saved at the near post by Kelleher. Rolls the ball out, and the Liverpool crowd are still urging Arne Slot's side on here. And it's slowed down by Jones. Another impressive display for you by the home team?
Yes, I've got to say Bournemouth though. I mean, they played their part in this game, and you can question whether they've been naive, but it's a way that they play. They have trust in their game plan, but Liverpool have exploited them this afternoon.
But another goal at Tottenham, Masfarouki.
That's the 3 points for Spurs. That's the third goal for Spurs. James Maddison this time. Again, really good work in the build-up on Son Heung-min. Tottenham 3, Brentford 1.
Ross County have got a goal back. It's now Ross County 2, St Johnstone 3. Salah appeared to being held by Kirkes. Referee Tony Harrington has given that free kick as well. His arms were all over the Egyptian.
It's a long straight ball. That's actually been a good battle. Kirkes and Salah so strong, isn't he? Kirkes standing his ground. He's still shaking his head, saying, how can you give a free kick for that? I think a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Been shown a yellow card as well as Milos Kirkes, the Hungarian international. So that's 5 yellow cards if you include the one for Andoni Iraola, as this free kick for Liverpool. Mansfield Town have got a late goal. They now lead Shrewsbury 2-1 at Field Mill. Wickham 2, Cambridge United 1. Burton have got a late equaliser at home to Barnsley in League One as well. Burton 1, Barnsley 1. Liverpool have a free kick. 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Alexander-Arnold in, and the header from McAllister just inside the penalty area, saved by Kepa. Let's go to Villa Park, Pat Murphy.
It's still 1-1, but we've had a 5-minute delay, a serious injury to Wolves centre-back Yerson Mosquera. He went down after a collision of bodies contesting a 50-50 ball. Looks like it might be a case of landing awkwardly on one of his knees, Ian. Can't be sure, but he's off on the stretcher, and it's Villa 1, Wolves 1.
Thank you, Pat. Still another commentary to come after Sports Report. Crystal Palace, Manchester United. Bournemouth here have actually only failed to score in one of their last 17 away Premier League games, and that was against Arsenal back in May. That was a 3-0 defeat. As it drops here invitingly on the volley for Sinisterra, and he just hits it straight. Didn't get the angle right as well. It was an opportunity for him 8 yards out. Didn't even test Kelleher.
Well, they've actually, I don't know how many shots they've got off this afternoon, but they have actually looked a bit of a threat, Bournemouth, going forward. It's a good underlap from Marcus Tavernier, who then just clipped the ball in, and Sinisterra was beyond the near post, 8 yards out. He's trying to angle it into the far corner, but just the wrong connection off his foot.
I'll try and give you that information if I can, but you know how I tend to struggle when I've got to multitask, as Bournemouth are attacking on this near side, but sweeping across was Alexander-Arnold, and Bournemouth seeing a lot of the ball though in this second period. Feel free to chip in at any point, as you know I'm busy. Here is Scott with a shot, Kelleher with a save.
Yep, work it well across the field there. Bournemouth into Alex Scott, and he's 23 yards out in a central area. Tries to curl it into the far corner. Kelleher, comfortable save. He's a more than good backup, isn't he, Kelleher?
Very much
for
so.
Alisson.
He wants first-team football, though. Don't forget, they've already signed Mamardashvili from Valencia for next season. Have Liverpool, so he might have to move away from Anfield to get the first regular games that he craves. Crewe 3, Harrogate 0. So that will be 4 straight wins in League 2 for Crewe. Cardiff City down to 10 men 0, Leeds United 2. That should make the point safe for Leeds United on that trip down to face bottom of the table Cardiff, who are still searching for their first win of the season, and only 1 goal that they've scored, the fewest in the Football League. And Barnsley are back in front. Burton Albion 1, Barnsley 2 is the latest score in League 1. I've got the answer for you as well. Liverpool have had 13 shots on target to Bournemouth 6th. Liverpool have had 3 off target, Bournemouth have had 9 off target.
They have carried a threat, haven't they?
Kirkes is down with a touch of cramp at the moment. Bolton Wanderers 5, Reading 2 is the latest score in League 1, and a late goal at Craven Cottage in the Premier League. Lee Blakeman.
It's all over. Fulham 3, Newcastle 1. Mistake at the back by Newcastle gave the ball straight to Reece Nelson, who's got his 2nd goal of the week. Fulham 3, Newcastle 1.
And news of that Leeds United goal from Niall McCorn.
10-man Cardiff 0, Leeds United 2. Leeds wrapping up the points with a seasoned finish from a former Swansea player, Joel Pirro, who lashed into the top corner. Leeds would have only have had themselves to blame if they didn't get all 3 points. They will now. Cardiff 0, Leeds 2.
I bet that went down well. Liverpool still leading by 3 goals to 0. Sports Report on its way with Mark Chapman. As much live reaction as we can, all the results before we go to Selhurst Park. And don't forget the live boxing tonight on 5 Live. The undercard on Sports Extra from 7. And then 5 Live, that Joshua Dubois fight, live from Wembley Stadium at 8:30 on BBC Radio 5 Live. And the top of the table clash tomorrow. The red and the sky blue corner. Manchester City Arsenal from 4:30 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Bournemouth with Scott in the midfield, out towards Tavernier. Are they able to get themselves a consolation? The answer would appear to be not, as Liverpool going top of the table.
Yeah, but look, I suppose it's one of those where they've been so disappointed about the result last week against Nottingham Forest, losing on the home patch. But it's about, I think Arne Slot talked about this in his programme notes, it's about how you respond. Went to Milan and won very well. And this afternoon against a tricky Bournemouth team, the game was over at the end of the first half. They were ruthless with their finishing. Big 3 points, and I suppose the question is can they be title contenders?
Chiesa has just robbed Smith of the ball, feeds it to Salah, back towards Chiesa, enters the penalty area, pulls it back towards Salah, it'll run through towards Gakpo. Good block coming in from Smith, who'd recovered, and it cannons out of play on that far side. We're into 4 minutes of added on time here at Anfield, and Liverpool still have those desire and high levels of hunger that they're coming forward and wanting more. McAllister with the dummy, lets it run through. Howson was there, edge of the area to clear up towards Tavernier. 3-0, a lot of empty seats now. The Liverpool supporters just starting to drift away after seeing their side threaten to run away with it, particularly in the first half.
Yep, it's all about the 3 points. As I say, responding. A few changes from the team. There 4 changes all in all from Tuesday night. Squad rotation, that's going to be key. But getting back on track in the Premier League. They've done it very, very well.
And Bournemouth's terrible record of having never won at Anfield is going to continue. It will be 10 defeats out of 11 away trips to Anfield. Low cross in towards Unal, blocked and cleared, comes out to Tavernier, now towards Scott. Good block by Konate. Even Konate now, you can see that desire to make sure that they still get the clean sheet. Still defending in numbers on the edge of their own penalty area. Alexander-Arnold caught in possession, however, and Bournemouth have got it back. Full-time scores are coming in across the country. They're going around the grounds, getting all the details from Sports Report with Mark Chapman. This is Sinistera, unmarked, enters the penalty area, a couple of step-overs, doubled up on him, and dispossessed by McAllister inside the penalty area. a late goal at Southampton, Henry Moran.
And what a goal, an equalising goal. Sam Morsey from outside the box, firing past Ramsdale into the top corner. Southampton's wait for a first Premier League win will go on. Southampton 1, Ipswich 1.
Bournemouth are attacking on the edge of the area. Ouattara stopped by Curtis Jones. Late goal at Villa Park, Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Ezri Konsa for Aston Villa. A deep cross from the left. What was Konsa doing up there, the defender? Doesn't matter. Swept it in. It's Villa 2, Wolves 1.
And the full-time whistle has sounded here, and the applause is because Liverpool have gained a 3-0 victory against Bournemouth, with all the goals coming in the first half. Diaz at the double, Nunez with a fine effort, and Liverpool worthy winners.
Yep, game over at half-time, wasn't it? 3 goals, 3 points, as you say, about getting back on track in the Premier League. Bournemouth actually carried a threat going forward, plenty of endeavour and effort, lots of shots, but no goals for Bournemouth, but big 3 points for Liverpool.
So Liverpool go to the top of the Premier League on goal difference. They've beaten Bournemouth by 3 goals to 0.